Grew up in Arlington Heights, Illinois.
I was raised in the city of Orange.
I'm from Vietnam.
You know, just had a great upbringing in the Midwest. It was just a great place to grow up. Everybody kind of good morals, ethics. I love science. And in my bedroom, I had a real girly girl bedroom. And in my bedroom, I set up a whole laboratory, and I would dissect frogs. And I even, there was a place called Hobby Lobby, and I saved up all my money. It was $100 at that time, which was a lot of money. And I dissected a pig in my bedroom. And my mom was having a fit. I had bottles of formaldehyde with eyeballs in them. And, you have to try to keep it cold. And so we had it in the fridge out in the garage.
A lot of my youngest memories were at my grandparents' house in Anaheim. They had a house there. It was always kind of a refuge. We would go there. We would stay the night. They'd have all of our favorite movies, videotaped, like Snoopy Christmas. I had a tough time in elementary school and middle school. So I think I kind of retreated into books. So I read a lot. I would sometimes wake up, start reading a book, not eat anything throughout the day, go to sleep, just cover to cover finish books, and then I'd wake up the next day and continue on, the next book in a series or something. My parents eventually told me I couldn't read as much because I needed to play with the other kids and get out, so.
Well, I grew up with my grandmother, who took wonderful, wonderful care of me. So she was the village healer. So I go and I read for her. So I was her, I help her read the Bible for her and all that. So I've learned a lot from her. Yeah, and I think that's why I want to be a nurse. She taught me a lot, and she gave me a lot of value and compassion and caring, and I missed her. I think I became who I am because of her, so.
Yeah, I just always knew. There was never a question, of what I thought, like I said, I thought I was going to be a surgeon, but I saw so many doctors would go in and wouldn't spend a whole lot of time with the patients, and I wanted to be there loving on them and, doing all the things with them and really being the action, because the doctors just gave a lot of orders. So I really thought I really want to be doing care for the patients.
I know that when my grandfather was dying, I know that wasn't an easy time for me. And so I guess I empathize with other people that have somebody they care about.
Because I didn't have the opportunity to a chance to take care of her when she got older, because of situation and all that, and I didn't get to go back to see her. So I think that's why, this is what motivated me to do what I do. So.
My dad taught me one of the most important things of my life, and I use it every day with my patients. My dad always said, you always, we go in there and there's yesterday or day before, I did an eval on this little old lady. Oh my God, she was the cutest thing you ever did see. She had no teeth, she never dentures in, and she smiled a smile without her teeth and these big blue eyes. And my dad always said, no matter if it's the ugliest person in the world, you find the one beautiful thing about them. Whether it's their smile, their eyes, their funny laugh or whatever, there's always something. And I tried it with my patients, always say that, like this lady without the teeth, this big grin, and she had killer big blue eyes, and you knew in her day she was really pretty, right? And she's all wrinkly now. And I said to her, oh my gosh, you must have been a hottie in your day. And she just, this big, no teeth grin, and she was just like, she goes, I was. The men liked me.
Most anxiety comes from ignorance, comes from not knowing what's coming. You can deal with a lot more difficult things if you understand what it's going to be like. We order the medications. We have to make sure everything's going to be at the house or the facility or the board and care when the patient arrives. There can't be any comfort medication that's not there and ready for them. So that's always a stress. So you're always calling the pharmacy and saying, how long is it going to take? What can you guarantee it by? You can't get well, it'll probably be about this amount of time. It doesn't work. Because eventually, that's like a waveform, right? It's going to be somewhere between an hour and 4 hours, right? And eventually you're going to hit where you dropped off the patient in 2.5 hours and you're waiting an hour and a half and they're in active pain or anxiety, or agitation, nausea. So you can't have a tolerance for that. You can't say, well, it'll probably be okay. You have to know.
It's nice to be able to go, because everybody always says, oh, who's my nurse going to be? What's her name? Things like that. And if I know, it's so nice to be able to say, oh my gosh, you have the best nurse. You got Mia, you got Sandy, you got Gina, whoever that nurse is, to be able to tell them and know when that person walks in, the family's going to feel so comforted, because I know who I'm saying, oh, and I always preface, you're going to love them. And then the chaplain, oh my gosh, David Boyle, when he comes, you're going to love this guy. And I always tease, like when I talk about David Boyle, I tease the old ladies, I said, oh, and he's a handsome devil too. And they're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, you might want to do your hair before he comes. And
There was this family, a Vietnamese family. Their main goal was, they didn't want her to die in the hospital, and that was very important to them. The way that they all got together to pray just so that she can get home, and so that because they all cried, and with the hospital, I think the coroner have to come right away to pick up the body and all that, and they need time to grieve with her, and they need, I think they need like 8 hours. And in the hospital, you can't do that. We got her home, and it was such a relief because, she feels so, she appears so calm, and, and they were so happy. And I think that's what hospice is about, So to get, to fulfill the whole family and the patient's wishes.
This patient was very, very, very close. They were imminent, basically. And their family thing was they played family games. And so we had the bed in the living room, and all the siblings, I think there was 5 kids. So I said, they were telling me about the family games. I said, why don't you tonight put the card table up right by her bed there in the family room, play games, and she will probably just lay in her bed and hear the banter of the family. And I said, that will probably be the most enjoyable thing. So that's what the family did. They went out and they put the card table there, and they were going to play games and things so she could hear all the banter of all the things that they did when they grew up. So it's kind of cool.
There was a family recently, they had all the generations around, and you could tell they were trying to make niceties, but it was affecting them quite a bit. And it was going to be the patient's birthday next week. And they said that they were so sad that she couldn't make her birthday. They wanted to celebrate her last birthday with her before she passed. And, I said, well, I'm sure that her husband had passed. I'm sure that her husband is probably up there waiting for her, and they have the party set up. They've made the reservations, and if she doesn't make it on time, she's going to miss her birthday. And when she goes up, she won't be in a debilitated state anymore. She'll be like she was, and I'm sure she'll have a wonderful time. She'll be like she was, fully with her mental facilities and physical facilities, and And they really liked that. They liked the idea that she was going to be there for her next birthday, and that's why she was leaving at this particular time.
Louise was one of our continuous care nurses. She's 80-some years old. Louise taught me to find out about what they used to do. You know what I mean? Ask that question. What'd you do for a living? And then that starts the family talking about good times, and that's the start of the process of hospice.
Yeah, celebration is really, I almost wish there was more of that, where it almost doesn't seem often enough or whatever. Though maybe it would be in smaller groups, because we're always work, you know. But it's a good reflection on the different people that are part of the organization. You know, it's humanizing to what we do in a formatted way, as a piece of media and an event.
Denise's and Deb Robeson put together the best thing for the morale of the company with celebration.
To reflect too what we do every day and why we're here, and the meaning of our jobs, and we should not, we should take great honor to serve these people.
But we get reminded of the business aspect every day. It's nice to go back and remind ourselves that we're human beings, and no matter what our job title is, we're doing this to try and help people.